Well, after starting the season off 10-1 for the Philadelphia Eagles, they had a very disappointing end, going losing 5 of their last 6 and then ending up as the 5th seed, giving the division title away to Dallas, and then being this 5th seed having to go on the road in the playoffs to go play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then losing to the Buccaneers. Very disappointing season. Seems like there was a lot going on in the locker room. Many people suspected that Sirianni, even though they just led him to a Super Bowl last season, might be on the ropes, might be fired, but it looks like after the last couple of days, Sirianni is here to stay. So what are the Eagles going to do? What happened in that locker room? What is really going on? Kelsey talking about retiring, but then saying he's not going to retire and he'll figure it out. Maybe he's waiting to see if the Eagles are going to make certain moves. But one thing that's been kicked out there by Pro Football Talk is that the Eagles could move off of Jalen Hurts if they decide to this offseason, and it would actually be fairly easy. Let's get into that article. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're gonna move off of Jalen Hurts, but his contract, if they wanted to, and they could find someone to take up the contract and want to trade for him, they can move on. Now, what would they do outside of Jalen? Like, what would they get? I don't know. I think more of the issue wasn't the offense, although the offense down the stretch definitely was hindered. I mean, you couldn't even convert a tush push in the playoffs. Come on now. But that defense underperformed. It was embarrassing, but we'll get into that another time. But let's read this article by Pro Football Talk. It says, plenty of time has been spent over the past week questions of whether Nick Sirianni will be back with the Eagles. But will Jalen Hurts return? While there's no specific reason to believe that the Eagles or Hurts are ready for a fresh start, the general sense of the dysfunction within the locker room seemed palpable toward the end of the season. It feels like something big happening, something we don't know about. Absolutely. Unlike many high-end quarterback contracts, Hurts' deal makes it fairly simple if the Eagles want to, and he waives his no-trade clause. They can move on from him. He's been paid $24.3 million so far. The cap hit for a pre-June 1st trade would only be $18.632 million for 2024, and then he'd be off the books for 2025. So they take a almost $19 million cap hit this season. Obviously not great, but hey, he's off the books after that if you really wanted to move on from him. The bigger question is find a suitor for Hurts. Would anyone be inclined to trade for him? Hurts has a fully guaranteed option bonus for 2024 in the amount of $38.875 million. That's a good chunk of change, with an exercise window of the first day through the 10th day of the league year. He also has a fully guaranteed 2024 base salary of $1.125 million. Contract also has a fully guaranteed 2025 option bonus of $40.83 million and a 2025 fully guaranteed base salary of $1.175 million. That's $82 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 seasons, also known as $41 million per year. But if someone traded for him, obviously the Eagles would be paying part of that. The contract includes $51 million. Let's see, for 2023, $30 million of which becomes fully guaranteed in March 2025. It works out to about $133 million over the next 3 seasons, and an average of $44.33 million. Not that bad for a starting quarterback in the league. Again, the Eagles would have to find a team willing to take on the contract if they can. And if Hurts is willing to waive the no trade clause, the structure of the contract allows it to happen. That's not to say it will happen. It's just say it could happen. Bottom line is the fact that people are after, I mean, hell, you had an 11-win season. You were just in the Super Bowl last year, and people are already talking about wanting to move on from Jalen Hurts. First of all, this is why we don't pay these guys so early, and you find yourself in this situation. I mean, look at Arizona and Kyler Murray. They're stuck with him. They say they decide to stay with him. They had no choice. They're stuck with him. But here we are with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. This makes me think like there's something going on in the locker room. We don't know what it is, and we know that guy has zero emotion on the sidelines. Zero. Maybe he's just not that guy. Maybe the locker room doesn't really like Hurts when the going was getting tough. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but it sounds like Hurts. Could you imagine? Just think about this: a starting quarterback in the NFL that just went to the Super Bowl and just had 11-win season. When have we ever heard anyone talking about that being disappointing and that the team might move on from him? Think about that. I mean, Brady, Manning, Breeze, Roethlisberger, hell, even Phillip Rivers. It's like, did we ever come across anything like that? So the fact that this is even being thrown out there and the contract is so favorable for the Eagles to be able to trade him, I think this is a possibility. I think I'm not saying it's likely, just like this article isn't saying it's likely, but I think we got to continue to monitor it this offseason. So let me know what you think. Could the Eagles move off of Hurts? If they do, who do they go get? And if they do, where does Jalen Hurts go? Who trades for Jalen Hurts? Who wants to take that gamble and take on that contract? I don't know. But let me know in the comments below. Smash the like button while you're here. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.